Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And there's not actually a lot of news this week especially since we had like a late start last week. We got like half of the two spoilers.
Yeah, we because we recorded on Saturday last week, and now we're recording Thursday evening this week. So it's like we kind of combined our podcast episodes together. But we do still have a spicy spoiler to talk about, and we're gonna go over our 1K experience this past weekend, which is a lot of fun. I'll give some shout outs later for that. And then predictions for Kansas City calling. So, with that, was there anything else in Flushable that you did this week besides the 1K?
I only went to one armory this week, but it was fun. I still am playing Valda. It wasn't until, like, we'll go a little deeper later. I think I'm finally on a list that I'm okay and happy about, and I'm feeling really good about. And that was yesterday that I found that list. So I went to that armory on Tuesday, still had a couple kinks to work out, but I'm finally in the point where I'm like feeling like Valda is like getting there. It's cool. But
out of curiosity, how many cards different is it from your previous list?
Oh, here
I can guess. Is it like 5? Is it like just a couple? Is it like 5 or 10?
What's like the biggest difference is like the blue base. Because I cycled through, and I mean, I didn't have the solid grounds, and I'm testing with them. I'm waiting for those to come in.
I should get the 3, card 5, pull up thing up. Solid
7. And I think I took out 3, so 10. Yep. I'd say it's at least like 15 to 20 cards that I changed in the list.
Wow, that's a lot of cards. Yeah, that's a very different list.
It's a lot of cards. Yeah. And it's like, it does a very similar thing, but it's like, I went through and like, again, the blue base, I'm just like, broke it down, fixed it up, made it so like and I felt like through the 1K, we'll go in a little bit deeper, the blue base is what really shot me in my own foot. Like, it just did not work really with what I wanted to go with. So I went through, redid that, and it's feeling a ton better. It is crazy.
Well, I haven't personally done anything besides the 1K. I've been doing a little bit of testing here and there with the testing team. Besides that, mostly just the 1K. Yeah, we have a singular spoiler to talk about that we got. I think it was the night after we recorded. And it is called, if I can find it again, Blood Follows Blade, and I'll pull it up on the screen here. Blood Follows Blade. This is a Kasai specialization. It's a yellow 0 cost warrior attack reaction that blocks for 3. Target sword attack gets go again, and when this hits, create a Centauri sellsword token. Excuse me? What?
It's cool. It's really crazy.
We're making more Centauri sellsword tokens. That's insane. And it's a yellow. And it gives an attack go again as a reaction. And it blocks 3.
Yeah, I like it because it also doesn't give like a buff. Like, that would just feel like it's way overtuned if it's like, oh, and it's +3. But it's like really cool to be like it doesn't seem like if you're running a lot of defense reactions, it will like completely change the matchup. But it feels kind of like the Riptide thing where it's like super flavorful, super mechanically rich with like it being yellow, which like I know Kasai really wants good yellows because she needs to banish it for her hero ability. And then it's just on hit, so it's really cool because you can do that into Gravy Bones, and then now you can start summoning your own ally army.
I didn't notice that it was just on hit. That's a good catch.
Yeah. So it's super cool, and there's so many cool things you can do with it. And I say so many cool things. You react and hit and then summon a sellsword. But it is cool that it like extends Kasai. It feels like it makes her more than just like, I swing sword for 5, I swing sword for like 5, like something simple like that. I block 6. Like, just like, I'm a value-based deck. It's like, okay, I sneak in something that hopefully hits and makes this like a lot more valuable.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm looking through one of the latest lists right now, and I know that Andrew Rothermel popularized the front version of Kasai, for the same reason, right? There was a lot of, oh, people aren't blocking our daggers, and so we need to punish people for that and start playing these draw swords to then front pump the dagger and make them free and yada yada yada. And so I was double checking because I know that Kasai runs run through, which is the give a sword attack, go again. Your next sword attack this turn gets +2 at yellow, and they also run a couple blade runners. It looks like, but that's about it. What I was trying to figure out is whether or not it's like kind of polarized on if they start their turn with here's a dagger for 2, no go again. How often are you supposed to block it, right? Like, are you, because of this new card, are you supposed to be blocking that dagger for 2 now? Probably not. You're probably not supposed to. But if you don't and it hits, this is a pretty big buff for them, right? Go again plus a Centauri Sellsword.
I like it too because like it's not just a card that is just, oh, you include it, it's insane, it's broken. It's a card that's like, okay, like I can do this, but if I react, make this an on hit, and the opponent has a defense reaction, or like does something with quick dodge flexors. Sorry, it like you're super punished for it, but the payoff is huge, and it feels like a skillful card. It doesn't feel like I just get to do my thing. It's I need to plan around their defense reaction. I need to plan around this. What kind of deck am I playing against? And it is cool because like it feels like a lot of cards recently have just been like, this is just good. It goes in your deck. Why would you not play it? Well, it's like, okay, it's powerful. You get a lot of stealing off of it, but there's also a floor of it just gives your thing go again. Like you just a whole card to give go again to your sword.
Yeah. Especially if it's not hitting, then a card to give go again is not very strong.
No.
So yeah, that was the one thing I noticed or thought about was, yeah, if your opponent has a defense reaction and can cover it up, then it can be pretty rough. You'll lose a lot of value for it. Especially like Battle You Got is disgusting if there's no other pumps on this.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say, like, I don't know, we didn't go over Centauri Sellsword, so if anyone's wondering, it is a warrior token mercenary ally. So it's just an ally that gets put on the field. Has 3 attack and 2 health, and it says once per turn action, pay 1, attack, go again. Centauri Sellsword can only attack if you've attacked with a weapon this turn. So
natural go again on it. So if you stack these up, just start ripping the sellswords.
And she already has like ways to create them with raise an army, but the idea that you can like raise an army like seems to be a pretty late game card. So the idea that you can do this pretty early, and then all of a sudden the sellsword is just going to hit you for 3 every single turn until you kill it, seems pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if you try to like math out that card, let's say that you're just swinging dagger for 2 into dagger for 2 with a yellow or something, and or actually not even that, because this costs 1. If you have a yellow and this card, you swing dagger for 2, you react to play this, you swing with this for 3, and then you end your turn. That's a 2-card 5, and then they have to kill it. So it's like a 2-card 7 if they have exact 2, which is just okay, right? So if you're playing, like, you don't want to play this into aggro where it's not going to matter a ton, right? You want to mostly play this into the decks that will have a much harder time dealing with these 2 health units, right?
Oh yeah, like you play this into like Guardian that can only attack 1 thing per turn. Like, okay, I have 3 Centauri Sabers. It's like I have to take an entire turn just to kill your ally. Like, it is.
Yeah, what do you do as Valda whenever you have like 3 Seismic Surges popping and they've played, they have 2 of these on board? You cry, right?
Well, I mean, if you have 3 Seismic Surge, you're just going face. You're like, well, I'm getting hit for 9 at least.
Here's my armor for 10.
My boots that blocked like 10 times this turn. Let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
But
that is something. They don't count as weapon attacks, so you don't get your refresh on your dagger or your boots unless you swing with both daggers. It is good.
It's good.
That would be a little broken if they did.
But like if you get a blue in hand and you play something to pump and give go again, like the Unsheath 0 for 5 into the first Centauri Sellsword, or the first Saber, and then it's like, okay, it's a 1 for 5 go again into 3 into 2, and it's like 5, 3, 2, that's 10 off of 2 cards. That's pretty strong. Because you pitch 1.
Why is it 10?
because you get the +3 from Unsheath.
You're saying Unsheath. I see.
Yeah.
But then you have to pay 1 for the Centauri Soul Sword.
Yeah, and it's if you pitch a blue. But like there's other things that she can do. She can also draw off a gold to make everything free, or the swords free at least.
That's true. You get to draw off a gold with the blue. But the thing is that's what I was looking at with this latest list, is that there's technically 10 blues, 11 blues in the list. So it's not there's not, no blues, but it's definitely a list that wants to be running more yellows than anything.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably correct. I don't know, it feels on like a very similar level to the Riptide card, where it's like it might not be immensely impactful, but like mechanically it's really cool.
I think that it'll probably just be main decked as 3 of and just blocked with if it's against aggro. That's
fair.
That's my thought.
Yeah, and I mean it's a yellow that you're happy to pitch.
You're happy to block with it for your ability. You're happy to pitch it, so on and so forth. But yeah, very strong card. Was kind of surprised to see that Saturday night. When I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is insane!" And then I came back down a little bit. I was like, "Okay, this is fine. It's really cool and it's really fun." Which is how I'm hoping the rest of the specialization cards, which we're assuming are all the expansion slot cards. This is exactly what we're hoping for in all these expansion slot cards, right? Is that there's these very tailor-made to each hero specialization card that is not busted, but it's good and really unlocks some deck building potential. And I know last week we were talking about the Riptide, and they're like, if they put this amount of thought into every single one of the specialization cards, even expansion slot cards, it's going to be super cool. Yeah. And so it's exciting to see that it doesn't feel like Bloodflow's Blade is at at the same level as Riptide specialization, but it's definitely up there. It is a cool interactive card that provides a unique experience. So I'm really happy with it. It's really cool, and it's luckily continuing the trend of. I'm worried that they shot themselves in the foot starting with the take the bait card, because that one's just it ticks so many boxes in terms of how it functions with the Riptide. It's so cool. I think that every card following that is not going to be nearly as flavorful as that one.
I mean, going off the Guardian Mastery Pack spoiler season, I think it's actually okay. It makes me feel a lot better about starting with one of your strongest cards. Sure. Just because even if you have some weaker cards in between, it allows people to this is so cool and talk about the cool card. Every podcast I've listened to is Take a Bait is such a cool card. Is it good? No one knows, but everyone says it's a cool card. So just to even have something cool for people to talk about. So it's oh, cool card, mediocre. In between those few mediocre cards, you still have time and thought and this is really cool. And then you put another cool card in the middle if the others are mediocre. And it's it allows you to have that period of okay, maybe this that's dying down a lot. Oh, there's another cool card. Unlike the Guardian Mastery Pack, where it's just oh, first spoiler was cool and then nothing. And then the set was released and there's actually cool cards in there. It's
I'm just looking forward to the next 1 or 2 spoilers being specialization cards, and then that will really solidify it. And then now we'll then know for sure that everyone's getting a specialization card. Now all your old heroes are gonna get something new and fun to play with. It'll be really cool, really exciting to be experiencing.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have a lot of support with a lot of, especially old heroes. I want a Betsy log. I'm not a Betsy.
Give us the log.
But I want a log.
We've been asking for it forever. Give us the log.
I know. I feel they have to at this point. This is the heavy hitters. We're back to heavy hitters. We have Guardian again. We have to have the log.
We have to. Yeah, I put money on it. We're getting the log. It's happening.
Yeah, we have to. But that's it is cool to see this coming. Hopefully, or it'll be interesting to see if Necromancer gets stuff.
That will be interesting. I'm not sure. I think someone did some math about there's 31 expansion slot cards and there's so many heroes, and therefore it's almost certainly this specific set of heroes that aren't getting them or something like that.
And I would be I wouldn't be surprised if they're oh the last set's not getting spoiled specialization cards. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, especially Necromancer. I wouldn't be surprised if Necromancer got 2 expansion slot cards, because it's still a newer class. But
yeah, I'm iffy on it, because on the one hand it would feel like they left some of the cool stuff out of the set, but on the other hand it's very possible that just during playtesting, after they really locked in everything, they're like, oh, this would be cool if this hero had this type of thing added, and so they were able to add it into the next one. So like, it might be like it feels bad, but I think in reality, it would be more of like internal testing causing those cards to be made after the fact.
Yeah, but I'm excited. It's like really cool to have this card, and like it feels like the hype train's still there. We're still going hard. It's not like it's
cool. Speaking of, when we were at the 1K, we were talking to oh my god, I'm terrible with names, so I'm blanking on his name. The Fi player.
David?
David, yes, David. We were talking to him about the thought that there might be a specialization for all the heroes, and but you and I were kind of coming up. It was fun. It was funny. We both had the exact same thought, and then you said it, and I was like, "That's exactly what I was thinking for what the specialization could be." But we were predicting that Fi specialization, if it exists, and what our thought might be is that it makes Phoenix Flame somehow, probably out of your inventory, to basically make up for the fact that you might get yours banished from the grave or shuffled into your deck or something like some other way, right? And I think my thought was it would be like an attack reaction that says on hit make it Phoenix Flame, or like pull one from your inventory. But I can't remember if you had a different thought for how it would work.
Yeah, I thought like the one I put down was it was just a 0 for 3 go again that says if it's like the second Draconic Chain Link or higher, it gets like on hit create a Phoenix create a Phoenix or take a Phoenix Flame from your inventory and put it in your hand or something like that.
You were voting for the attack and I was voting for an attack reaction, which I think both kind of work, but the attack is definitely a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's something easy to block, but it's something where like it allows you to do some of those crazy chains that like Fi's never been able to do, because one, it adds Phoenix Flames, which you don't want in your deck, and two, like it just puts them in your hand without costing cards. So you could like have your Phoenix form in your arsenal that needs 3 Phoenix Flames.
Yeah. So that's why like, we were thinking about like cards that would really lean into Fi, and creating Phoenix Flames makes sense, right? Because of then Phoenix form and adds more deck building opportunities and stuff like that. Although it'll probably just end up being another Salt the Wound card. Is what it really will end up being. But we tried.
It's flavorful, but it would definitely be like a 3-1 and it's 2 points on salt. But
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that'd be a fun exercise. We're gonna get some spoilers before the next episode, which will then lead us a little bit in the right direction in terms of how the rest of the expansion slots are gonna go. Because I know Kevin Murphy has a Prism spoiler coming up soon, and if it's a Prism expansion slot specialization, then I think we are all lights. Why am I blanking on this phrase? We're gonna know for sure that it's gonna be a ton of specialization expansion slot cards, and I think it'll be fun. I'll be in the meantime thinking of new fun ideas for specialization cards for all the heroes. I think that'd be a fun little thing to do. But anywho, that was just a fun prediction we had. I wanted to share. So we had a 1K this weekend. By the way, huge shout out to everyone that put it together. The Blood Rush Fellows, Luke Harris, Anarchy from the Anarchy Please channel, all the Blood Rush Fellows that casted. Really, really cool event. The live stream is still on Anarchy Please's YouTube channel, and you should go check it out. It's really cool. And we both took our decks that we talked about last week. I took Dash.io and you took Valda. And we've actually kind of talked about this a little bit since you mentioned refining the deck at your latest armory. But how, after the armory and the 1K, how has Valda been feeling overall for you?
It's like after all the changes, it feels so much better. Yeah. I still like, oddly enough, like the aggressive matchups are kind of where she struggles the most, because it turns into a race, and like the only thing a lot of heroes care about is like Spinal. And it's like, oh, okay, like I'll block Spinal. I have all this equipment to block Spinal at least once, if not twice, on some of the heroes like Fi. Like Fi, I feel like is a nightmare matchup to Valda, which is odd.
Yeah.
But it's like, I lost track of my thought. I'm sorry, but Valda's felt a lot better, and that's like those are really the only matchups I'm like starting to fall behind on. The list that I have right now, I've been testing today and a little bit yesterday, and I have only 11 games, but I have an 82% win rate, which is pretty good. Going
Pretty
from my
good.
last one, which was like a 50% win rate, like hovering around, like you win one, you lose one. And it felt a lot less controllable than this. And one of the biggest change was like I just went through with the blue base and just made it better. Like a lot of the old blue base, like unfortunately, seismic. Oh, what is it called? It's that 3-cost seismic. No. The D react's amazing. I put that up to 3, but I was talking to Addison about it earlier. One sec.
Seismic. I'm looking it up too. 3-cost, you said?
Shaking. Sorry. 3-cost. Create 3 seismic surge. At the start of your turn, you may put X cards on the bottom of your deck and draw X cards, where X is the number of seismic surge you control.
Surface
that shaking. I had 3 of. Yeah, surface shaking. Yeah. That I had 3 of, and it was unfortunately not good. And it's just because it takes so much momentum to play it, and it's only good turn 1 or turn 0. And you already have Imposing Visage, which is your turn 1, turn 0 play that you want to play. So it is like it just takes too much from the deck. So I just straight up removed it and put in a little bit more aggro on the backside. And like other than that, just like evened out a lot of the blue base, and it feels a lot better because one of the like something we'll talk about a lot in the 1K is like even if I steal momentum, sometimes I draw an all blue hand and I'm like, this sucks. This isn't good. What throw 8 damage off 4. Like I just stole your entire turn, and my turn is throw 8. Like you're just gonna eat that and respond and take the momentum back. So it's something where it's like now that still happens sometimes, but it's a lot more consistent with like, okay, like I drew Promising Terrain, which I can at least, which I didn't actually have in the list beforehand because don't ask me why, but it feels a lot better. And then I have like Tectonic Rift back in the list. That one I'm still debating on because I haven't actually played it much. I think I've played it once since I put it in. But I put in an extra Tectonic. Yeah, Tectonic Rift. It's a blue X cost 2 block. Create X seismic surge tokens. Go again.
Tectonic. I just want to pull it up for the viewers. Tectonic.
Totally.
There it is. I see the Bright Lights card.
Yeah, which is fine. It just blocks 2, and that's its biggest problem. So a lot of the time when I want to keep a different card, but I have to block 3, I keep that. And not that I get the pitch stack often in Valda, it's just I don't want to see that when I hit pitch stack. So unless I have complete momentum.
I was gonna ask, so this is effectively the same card as Surface Shaking, except it doesn't block 3, 0. Right?
Yeah. But so, the thing about
why that card over this one?
It's a lot more flexible. So I don't have to pay 3. And a lot of times on Valda, you'll be floating like 1 or 2 pitch, like even after all the discount. Like, oh, like I'm throwing Spinal and it only costs me 2. Or it only costs me, say it costs me 4. And I'll activate Tectonic Plating and then I'll have 1 floating. If I've taken all momentum, like with Surface Shaking, I can't do anything with that. But with this card, I can at least pay 1 into it, create an extra Seismic Surge. And if I have Ley Line up, it goes from Spinal with 1 surge on hit, an extra surge, to Spinal floating 2 surge on hit, the 3rd surge.
I see. Because you make one off of your pitching to your chest, and then swinging, and
you make one off of Tectonic Rift, and then the Ley Line has the on hit of a 3rd surge. So it's like it's a lot more flexible, but I wouldn't say it's much better. It is the card in the blue base that I would be looking closest to replacing. But
I was gonna say, like,
other than that,
if it's effectively just an extender for a 1 cost to get a Seismic Surge, maybe sometimes 2 Seismic Surges, I feel like there might be some better options for you there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking into is like that. And then I just want 2 more or 1 more Crush card, and I've been cycling through some Crush cards, and I can't find one I'm super happy with. But for the most part, the list feels so good. I like some of my games have been insane too. Like I beat a Prism like 37-0. I beat which is bonkers. I beat Victor 14-0. I like the games that are like close are close, but there are some games where I'm just rolling over the opponent.
Yep. That's what I noticed too. Whenever I played into it, sometimes they would just roll me, like it wasn't even close. Like,
yeah,
if you get the momentum going. Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, it sounds like you found a list you're really happy with.
Yeah. Again, this is all like Talishar data, so like I can't say it's all, oh, this is the best deck. It's amazing, but it's like it feels like a playable deck now.
Yeah.
Compared to when I brought it to the one day, it was playable.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was a really strong choice. I was kind of sad that it didn't. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
The 1K, but I felt like Valdo was actually a pretty good pick. I feel like you're very good into Gravy. Very good maybe is stretching it, but you're good into Gravy. You're good into the other Guardians, and you're really only struggling into what, like Wizard and some of the aggro decks that if you don't find your disruption for can be troubling.
Aggro is hard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm figuring out. It's like Syndra doesn't feel as bad as Fi, which is really odd. Like I played a couple Syndras and I'm like, okay, this is fine. Like I don't think I'm favored. I think Syndra's favored, but it's better. But then like I sit down in front of Fi and they're like Flame Scale Furnace like stares me in my eyes and like your first final's not hitting, and then I mean, I learned a lot too, like over the last week of playing her at the 1K and playing online. Like this, there's a lot to be learned. Like, when do I go for this in this position? When is it best to arsenal my Seismic Eruption? Which best card in her deck? Seismic Eruption. So good.
Eruption. Which one's that again?
It is the yellow instant. Create 3 Seismic Surge.
Right.
It's an insane card. It's so good.
Yeah, that does seem pretty good.
So
your nice blue pitch card from your arsenal is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like, oh, they're throwing CNC at me. Oh no.
What will I do?
In response to the trigger, create 3 Seismic Surge. Put them in their place for free. Like
for
free. It's like, it's so good, and it's just so flexible. And like even sometimes I'll draw like 2 in my hand. I've never drawn 3, so like that's my biggest fear. Like I draw 3 in my hand, I'm like, what do I do? But I've drawn 2 in my hand, and even then I'm like, well, like I'll just play 1 now, play this attack for free, and arsenal the other. Because I'm usually always sitting on an attack in my arsenal. It's like that, or like pummel sometimes, if it's not another Seismic. Like Seismic is like the first thing I want to put in arsenal if I can't just immediately use it. But it's like, it just has so much use. Like, oh, okay, I can't use it this turn. I'll arsenal it, and then it also turns my shield into defense reaction because like +2 if I control that, like, or control 3 or more, +4 if I control 6 or more. So it's like it turns my shield into a defense reaction. It makes my defense reaction free, so I can also just sit on it and wait until I draw the defense reaction, and it turns into like a crazy defensive turn because it's like, oh, okay, like, I already have like 2 or 3 Seismic Surge floating. I drew a smelting of the old one. I'll just I'll play the Seismic Eruption, get the last 6, so I have a free smelting. But then I also have like a solid ground, so I block 5 and my shield D-react. It's like, it's so cool. It's so cool how it interacts with the deck.
Yeah, I know we were talking about it on the way to the 1K. We were talking about how you can kind of like pseudo D-react with it, right? Where you can block with your shield on an attack and block for like 4, and then play it from arsenal and make it for 6 on like the slippy stuff, which is kind of cool, right? The fact that you can block a 3-block with a shield, the shield doesn't lose any more -1 counters, and just continually use it as a potential D-react is really, really fun. I thought that was a fun way to play that card as well.
Yeah, and there's some really interesting play with it too, because it gets the -1 counters when the combat chain closes. And I've learned in a couple matchups that, like, one, I've been trying to block with it a little bit more willy-nilly, so like it's harder to tell when I'm actually going to react over it. But I've also learned, like, you block with it, I'm at 2 Seismic Surge, the opponent draws a card, it gets +2 when I'm blocking 0 with it, and then the combat chain closes and I get -2 on it. Like, I just lost 2 value.
Yeah, you gotta be a little careful.
Yeah.
But it's only, Ancestral Empowerment that really does that? Like, draws a card without closing the chain? I'm trying to think what else does that.
I played a Dory, and like I blocked with the shield and just another card. And like I was like ready to D-react over if I needed to, but they played glistening.
Yep.
And then like didn't actually buff it. So like I was blocking like 7 on, because it was like blocking 7 on their 5.
Yeah.
And then they just threw CNC afterwards. I'm like, oh, that was I could have saved the shield for the next attack.
Yeah, they can definitely bite you. I think it's almost like when you have 2 seismic surges, you're not supposed to do it because of that. Because what, Acilio can also do that against you. They can just activate their hero ability. Trying to think of other ways people can draw it instant speed. Prism can do it against you.
Yeah,
with the Halo.
But it's like interesting because like I learned that the hard way of like, oh, I just literally lost 2 life because Dory decided to glistening into a CNC. Like that was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think like you have a lot of cool things going for you, and if I had all the cards, then I would definitely be toying with it a little bit. But I don't plan to play Guardian anytime soon, so
no, that's totally fair.
Actually, I scratched that. I might be playing Pleiades soon, but I have a feeling that Pleiades is going to be the gravy bones of Super Slam, and is going to be kind of tough to put together. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about regarding Valda before I go into Dio?
I mean, other than that, like her best matchup, at least to me, feels like gravy. Like it's actually crazy. And like I did play a newer player in the 1K, but like, oh my goodness, like whenever I sit down in front of it, like originally I felt like gravy. I'm like, it's okay, it's whatever. But the more I learned the deck, and the like, I'm running 2 Midas Touch, and you're like, I'm not afraid to get their Humperdinck because they got 6 gold. They're gonna pop it and make my next attack free. Like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, or like, or on a chum, get 4 gold. Like, you just sit on a Midas Touch until they play the chum, or like if they play a Humperdinck, it's like not all the time they play Humperdinck, especially because you're just so aggro oriented instead of a fatigue oriented. But if they do, you can do that. But like, you just sit and wait until they like chum. They activate his ability to on your Seismic Surge to make you attack him. Then you just Midas Touch him and then smack them anyways. It's so good. Like the matchup feels so good into Gravy Bones. Like, and it's so much fun because like they'll do their crazy stuff and then I'll sit there and then I'll block 9 and be like, okay, 10 dominate back.
Yep. Block 9, 10 dominate. What are you gonna do about it?
Destroy your compass on hit.
Thoughts?
Or crush, like it is.
Can you block 10 dominate? No. Rough.
Or like they'll make everything free and they'll have Terra Sunder another blue and like some random attack, and I'm like, well, this is this is a 3-card 9 on hit, discard 2 dominate with a crush effect. Like, okay, it is. It's so much fun playing in the gravy, and it's like it feels like the more I play Valda, the better the gravy match gets, and that's really cool.
Yeah, the gravy is definitely a matchup where you can play a lot. You can learn a lot how to play better. I'm stumbling over my words today. You can learn the matchup and gain a lot from that and get better at it over time. I've definitely noticed that myself playing this Dio into it. Even though Dio is like a favorite matchup, it's still not easy. And like, but the more I play it, the more I'm like, okay, this is feeling more and more comfortable. Like feeling better and better.
Yeah, it's different on like Valda because like I feel like if I don't have Midas Touch on their first chum, then it's like a 50-50 matchup. But if I just get the juice, like Arsenal the Midas Touch, and just steamroll them, it is crazy how easy that matchup can be. Because it's like, oh, Terra Sunder this. Oh, steal your compass. Oh, Spinal Crush for 11 because I'm running Crater Fist. Oh, like, it just doesn't stop because they're like, I have to, like, they just ruined my hand. I have to fish to fix it. And then they fish, and I'm like, my attacks are free again. Like... It's great, and like Midas Touch just feeds their deck, which feeds my deck, so it's awesome. Like I love it.
Exactly.
It's a fun matchup because like both of us are doing broken things. Like, oh, okay, you're throwing CNC for 8 go again. Well, good thing I had Seismic Eruption in my arsenal, so you get nothing. And it's so cool.
Yeah. Any last Valda words?
That's it for now. I'll probably rant later when we get more into 1K, but that's it for now.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to talk about Dio because I've talked about her a lot before, but she's been feeling really good. I've been really happy with her. I I think that I've gotten a lot better at playing into fatigue, and that helps a lot with the bad matchups. A lot with bad matchups to learn the fatigue angle, and I feel like there's effectively like 5 open sideboard slots on my list that I'm still like tweaking. Like at the moment, there's only 1 or 2, but I could pull a couple more cards out if I wanted to, and it's just like it's so cool having a deck where I'm not just like, oh, I want to fit all these sideboard cards in my deck and I can't. But instead I'm just like, I have this extra slot. I don't know what I want to do with it. I guess I'll throw this card in there because it's kind of fun, type of thing. You know, it's a very different experience from the deck list that I'm used to. But yeah, I've been feeling great.
Than Valda.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've played a single other deck where that's been like that. I think it's the first time because I know Kano's like that where they just have so much sideboard space they don't even know what to do with themselves. But
it's
I've never
so
played a deck
funny
like
when
that.
you see them like Kano's top events and you look at their list and there's just random cards you know they never played.
Yeah, I still remember the story of Peter Denzik at the Realm Rumble, just going through his sideboard like, okay, I've got this card for no reason. I've got this card for no reason, just like making BS excuses for why they're in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so deck list has been cool. It's still a blast to play that deck too. And I feel like even the bad matchups aren't that bad. I'm really afraid of Victor, I will say, but Victor just kind of doesn't exist right now, which is nice. I know, it's not actually the case. Victor does exist, but not nearly at a representation enough for me to be concerned about bringing Dio to KC. So I'm feel fine in Devalda. We played some test games and they were really close, but I still feel much better than I did before.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah,
it is very scary.
Well, it's funny too because like the only on hit you have in your deck that I care about anymore is Spinal Crush. I don't care about anything else. Like Crush the Weak sometimes matters, but most of the time it doesn't. I throw 4s and 5s a lot of the time.
That's
instead.
how Valda feels a lot, and that's kind of the biggest weakness I've been having with Valda is like I sit especially into aggressive decks. It's like they only care about Spinal, so it's like I need to make sure my Spinals are dominated because a lot like I had a Fang matchup earlier where I threw my specialization at them, and they like just came online, and I threw my specialization at them, and they took all 10 damage, and then I saw 3. I saw 3 defense reactions get cycled out, and then they had like a 28 damage turn. I'm like, yeah, I could have thrown any other attack and been better. Like that was crazy.
Yeah, good luck fatiguing the Fang too once they're online.
Yeah,
not an
I'm
easy
scared.
task.
Yeah, Fang and Fi scare me. The Fang felt somewhat close because I gained such an advantage early on, but then obviously they came online. And it's like.
Yeah, it's so funny. That's how Fang works, though. Like they literally they'll be behind, and then they get online, and they just start catching up so quickly. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like if I can keep them behind a little bit longer, then I'm there. But if they just like get the 3 fealty within the first few turns, like, it's over. Or like first couple turns, it's over.
Yeah, like you can still win, but it's tough. It's not easy. But yeah, Josh has been feeling really good. I've been liking her a lot. I think that there's a chance that the Guardian meta increases over time, and so my Dio days may be numbered unless there's some secret tech out there to beat the Super Fatigue Guardians, or just actually Victor isn't even Super Fatigue. It's just that the new block card is just nuts. It's just it's so good into the aggro decks like Dio. So, but as of right now, she feels really good. And I've been really happy playing her. But yeah, with that, let's dive into the 1K. I guess I'll start with what we're gonna do is we're gonna alternate our rounds and how they went, and like some little details here, some interesting stuff that might have happened. This is our 1K tournament report. So to start off with, I played against Dan. I'm not gonna say anybody's full name just in case they don't want us to put their full names on here. So I played against Dan, local that is notorious for playing Vincent. Round 1, I won the die roll, and that kind of often determines the Dio versus Vincent matchup is who wins the die roll. Unfortunately, just both decks really want to go first, and it's a pretty huge advantage. So I got to win the die roll and go first. I think I played an item or 2. and he just didn't have any disruption the entire game. I don't think he played a single succumb against me. He played Cole once and never played the Arsenal destruction card. Not that, I mean, I was playing around it anyway, but if he had gotten my headpiece out and then like threw it again or something, then it would have been kind of rough. So it kind of just really went my way throughout the entire game, and that was my first round.
Yeah. So going into my first round, I got the first round bye, but
yeah,
don't math out my win percentage on the rest of it. But so I sit down and played against, or there was one person that wasn't playing in the event, and it's because they didn't have all the cards for Volda, but they wanted to play Volda. So he had some proxies, and then we sit down and play the Valdemir, and it was super cool and super fun. And I want to say like the biggest thing was like I was a little bit behind for a while, and then I threw the Smelting of the Old Ones at my opponent.
Which one's that?
And that one is the Crush. If it deals 4 or more damage, destroy all equipment with a -1 counter on a Guardian. So
yeah, now it's all equipment on
and
with a -1. Yeah.
I destroyed their Tectonic Plating, their Testament of Valhalla. They had the Gauntlets of Iron Will, which they blocked with and lost it anyways. And then so I stole 3 of their pieces of equipment, and it felt amazing. It was so cool. And their deck just stopped when I stole Tectonic. And that's kind of how Valda feels, and Jarl really scares me because they steal Tectonic, and I'm like, what do I do? But, like, I stole Tectonic, and, like, that helped me get back into the game. And it was really cool, and I got there in the end. Really fun, really close game.
Yeah, the Valdemir seems like it might go like that a bit. I'm not necessarily destroying all their equipment, but kind of a bit swingy.
Well, it didn't even feel like super swinging. Like, it was like very back and forth. And I say like his deck stopped, but it was still close in the end. Like it was like I think I still had a pretty I say pretty hefty lead. I think I was like a few damage ahead or maybe a turn cycle ahead, but it wasn't like I'm obviously winning this. I still had to play completely correct, otherwise I lost that game.
Yeah.
It's like so it was such an interesting game, and it's like cool. I love the Valdemir.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. So then my round 2 was against Peter Beck. He was one of the Blood Rush fellows. And he was on Slippy. And I was a little bit concerned going into Slippy because I know it's not necessarily a favored matchup for Dio. And I lost the die roll. So that's also not great for Dio. Anytime Dio loses the die roll, it's not great. But against Slippy, it's a little... Actually, against Slippy, I think it might be one of the closer ones. I feel like in testing, I found that going second is actually not that bad into Slippy. Because when you go first, they kind of just get to throw their entire hand at you going second. And in the aggro mirror, going second is typically wanted. But anyway, so Peter goes first and throws Kiss of Death. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to block it for 3. So I block it for 3. And he goes Spike with Blood Rot. And if you don't know how that works with Kiss of Death.
No.
Not only did I get the Spike with Blood Rot on hit, in fact, I should pull up the card for the stream. So first, Kiss of Death. Whoop. Kiss of Death. This is a dagger type card. It's a dagger attack, which means you can flick knives it. And Spike with Blood Rot says, give target attack action card with stealth +3, and when this hits a hero, create a Blood Rot Pox token. So then, not only do I take the extra damage from the Kiss of Death on hit, and to get a Blood Rot from this, they throw another attack and flick Kiss of Death with their flick knives, and this on hit happens again. So it's turn 0. I was able to block 3 on the second one, but I still take effectively... I took 2 damage from the flick too because of the Kiss of Death on hit again. Yeah. So 2, 4. I took 7 physical damage, plus had 2 blood rots.
That's gross.
Yeah, it was rough. It was not great. And then my turn. I'm looking at my hand. I draw back up. My hand is Max V. I think it was like a red backer protocol, yellow boom grenade, and Pulse Wave Harpoon. Oh no, sorry. It was Max V, Stasis Cell, Yellow Boom Grenade, and Pulse Wave Harpoon. And so I don't know what to do with that hand that makes any sense. So what I end up doing with my follow-up turn, I'm down 7 health and have 2 Blood Art Pox tokens. I play Stasis Cell, targeting, which by the way, I'll pull up Stasis Cell for the viewers. It's effectively like an equipment hate card, an equipment hate item for Mechanologist. But I play Stasis Cell. I pitch Max V and Yellow Boom Grenade to pay for 1 Blood Rot Pox, take the other Blood Rot Pox token, and Arsenal Pulse Wave Harpoon. And that's my turn. So now Slippy has their full hand going at them, and all I've done is taken 9 damage and Arsenal a card and play Stasis Cell. Not great. Not great.
Not great.
Yeah, it's not a great start. So, however, the rest of the game is like kind of not. I don't remember anything too notable outside of there was a point where I end up throwing that Pulse Wave Harpoon, and I see that he has Bonds of Agony in his hand and another card that doesn't really help at all. And so I know that he ends up arsenaling Bonds of Agony, and I have that information at my disposal to try and like play around Bonds of Agony. So like I did a turn where I went, I bottom Stasis Cell, which makes it so that they can't block with an equipment. And then I went T-Bone to force break their Flick Knives. And so they couldn't use Flick Knives anymore. And that mattered when they had Bonds of Agony in the arsenal too, to be 1 less attack reaction. And I think that was mostly it. There was a turn that he said that he had all attack reactions, which was pretty rough for him. But I end up eventually getting there. I end up taking it down because he ends up having that Bonds stuck in arsenal for a little too long, not doing anything. And I think by the time he threw it, I just said no blocks and lost some, I think, zipper hit or something, and just like kept attacking him and presenting on hits and getting there. Heist is pretty good, it turns out, against Slippy. Does not like Heist. doesn't feel comfortable for him to block that card. And what was really cool is if you beat any of the Blood Rush fellows, they gave you one of their poker chips here. And so this one is Dan's, because Peter didn't have his own specific ones. I guess Dan had one that would be given out, and Dan was casting, so it was given out instead. This is not going to focus on it too well, is it? But you can see this is their logo, their Blood Rush Fellows logo, and then the back it says, oh, it's going to be flipped for the camera, but it says "Protect Your Neck." Yeah, it's gonna be backwards, but really cool, nice little custom poker chip. I like it. This is now my new Arsenal protector, which is a lot of fun. I used to use this like a random token, but now I get to use that. But anyways, yeah. So I had that really rough start, but I still end up thankfully getting there in the end against Slippy, which is I was. It makes me feel much better about the matchup, I should say.
Yeah.
to have that happen. But anyway, that was my round 2.
Yeah, my round 2, I sat down on stream against Nacilio, and it was really like, one, they drew the nuts pretty early on, but it was also like, I don't want to say like, oh, they won because they drew crazy, but they played so well. Like, they were so worried about turning on Valda's ability that they like never activated Nacilio. And whenever they did their blast, they had a Blast of Oblivion turn. And I don't know, it might have been too late at this point. I think I was still losing. But they like on their Blast to Oblivion turn, they didn't bounce because they didn't bounce their Sigil of Brilliance. They ended up bouncing the one that gives the Electrostat or the
Embodiment of Lightning.
The Embodiment of Lightning, thank you. But yeah, they were bouncing that because they did that Electrostatic Somersault, bounce the Embodiment of Lightning one back to their hand. Then they like played it again, played the Embodiment of Lightning card to bounce like another Embodiment of Lightning cards instead of their Sigil of Brilliance. Like, it was really cool how they did it because like the entire game, they didn't let me go from 2 to 3 Surge. And they just played it so well. And there were so many times where I'm like sitting through that entire game. I'm like, okay, just activate Nacilio and like my pummel's free, pretty much. Like, and they're like, I had a pummel in my arsenal for like 6 turns, just waiting for one Nacilio activation. Because I'm like, okay, like, I get a block with an extra card and throw this disruption, and it has dominate, and like, I just need you to activate Cilia once. And they were so careful about any card they would draw to activate Falda. And it was really, really cool. And like, really, like, I think they played it very well. Like, they had, I mean, like, but like they had a lot of what they needed, but at the same time, they played it so well. And it's like, and so it was really cool. Like, it was very well earned by them.
The good Acilio players are scary. I can tell you from experience. They are very scary. I think that
it's just
that's one of the matchups I don't want to play into, because even though I'm favored, you can just lose. Like the good players know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it was like crazy because like I sit down and he's like, "Oh, I've never played into Valda before." I'm like, "Oh, it's like a pretty, like, I'd say 50-50, maybe my like Valda favored." And then like we sit down and he played as if he knew exactly what to do every single turn. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was cool. It was a really good game.
Cool. Yeah, it's always like I like that whenever you lose a game, but it's a cool experience. Like you're like, oh wow, my opponent did so well. Like I can't even be mad about it. Like
yeah,
those are the fun losses. So then round 3, I played against Matt, and he was on Verdance, and I was testing out a new theory against Verdance this tournament because I had heard Luke from Anarchy Please. He was talking about how he liked Hanabi Blaster into Verdance, and I was like, that actually kind of makes sense, right? Because you get to stack up the counters, you can double Hanabi with your Achilles Accelerator near the end of the game, and really force through damage against this fatigue deck, right? That is not disrupting you quite as much as other fatigue decks do. And so I tried it out. I added Hanabi to my list, and this is the first time, so I was like, all right, let's give it a try. So I put Hanabi in, and it worked. I thought it was pretty decent. There's like some like a later game I'll go over this in more detail, but it just felt like slightly better than Symbiosis Shot to me, because I missed out on some Symbiosis Shots, but I was also able to activate Cerebellum to Arsenal a card more often than I normally would, because I would normally want a Symbiosis Shot there. But instead, I just Cerebellum Arsenal card. I'm just taking up my Hanabi Blaster, and everything's all well. And so I end up getting there. I end up not even really getting particularly close to fatigue, which is a good feeling, because I've played against Verdance on Talishar a little bit, and I've gotten fatigued by them before, and that's why I was trying the Hanabi Blaster. I wanted to make sure I wasn't losing to fatigue anymore. So that was good. It was nothing too notable that game. That's right. There actually was something notable that game. There was one point that I played Null Time Zone, and I named Rootbound Carapace, and then I Pulse Wave Harpooned for X=2, and I got to see both that he had Rootbound Carapace in hand and a blue. And so basically couldn't play the Rootbound Carapace, and also chose not to block. And when he played the Felling from Arsenal, he had to bottom the Rootbound Carapace. So the Null Time Zone got a ton of value there. And then he said the next turn, he drew up a hand that was Sink Below, Rootbound Carapace, something else. He sunk the Rootbound Carapace, drew another Rootbound Carapace. So that Null Time Zone put a lot of work in. So that was a fun one. Yeah. I love Null Time Zone.
It's such a cool card. I can't even hate when the opponent calls my card. Like, I'll be sitting down like, oh, Null Time Zone, what are they calling? And they're like, oh, Spinal Crush when like it's a weaker turn, or like Sink Below, and I go and I'm like, huh. That's exactly what I have.
I love it. It's my favorite feeling. It's like name a D-React and then just see your opponent, like a little bit of sweat starts to form on their forehead.
Yeah. But like, you can't hate it. Like, it's like, they got it. They call it. Yeah, that's what's in my hand.
The best thing is when you play 2 Null Time Zones and you name both the types of D-Reacts that they can run in the deck. And now you just know they can't D-React you from hand. It's so great.
That's awesome.
All right, but what was your round 3 like?
My round 3 was into Slippy, and
this is the same Slippy I played.
Yes,
because you said it was Peter, right?
Yes. And I don't know from his perspective how it felt, but for me, it felt pretty close. there was a lot of times where I felt like I played it really smart, and there were some plays I was a little off because like I didn't get a lot of value out of my equipment because like there's turns where like pitch a codex to start with dagger. I'm like, I think they really need this dagger to hit, so I'm gonna block with my 2-block equipment to make sure that doesn't go through. And so like I did a lot of stuff like that, and it felt pretty close in a lot of areas. But I think this is where I first felt like my deck had too many useless blues in it. Because there was like one hand where like I stole all the momentum. I'm like, let's go. We're back in this. Like, okay. Oh, 4 for 6. Okay, the 4 for 6. Eats it all, steals momentum back, and it's like. And then there was also another turn where like I was playing around like take up the mantle and bonds. Like I was so ready for it. Like I'm sitting down, I had a defense reaction in like hand and arsenal, and I had the boots, and I blocked the guy. I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm ready for this. And like I just had a feeling it was coming. And then boom, it was take up the mantle, bonds. But then there was just a Nick on top, which made it like 2 over what I could block. And I was like, man, if that was a normal defense reaction, like I had all this momentum and I had Spinal Crush that was coming in for 3 free next turn. But because they 2 over what I could block, I had to pitch my Spinal Crush. Because this was my first Spinal Crush too. I had to pitch my Spinal Crush into my boots to save it from getting taken by bonds. Yep. Instead of just like blocking out and then throwing Spinal back. And like, I felt so smart. Like when I saw bonds, like, take up the mantle, bonds. I'm like, I'm in it. Like, I got it. Like, we're doing great. Just Nick. No, it's over. I'm gonna lose all my spinals. Well, and I'm like, yeah. So, but I felt like actually a pretty close matchup. I mean, in the end, I think he went down to 2 life or somewhere around there. It was single digits, but it was one of those like as close as I've gotten in a minute. I beat some Slippy's testing before the event, but like it's different playing in paper and like definitely like a very good team.
How do you feel into Slippy after that game? Overall, like how would you rate your Slippy matchup?
Oh no, I actually haven't played a Slippy with my new list. Like I've been looking and I haven't found any. The one Slippy, so there's one Slippy on like Talshar that I like. They like joined my lobby because I'd been doing competitive CC. They joined, so I was Valda and immediately left. I'm like, nope. Like, I love that. Okay. I'm like, that doesn't help me out. I would have really liked to play that, but yeah, the Slippy. I don't know. It's scary. Like it feels like it's something where the more I play it, the better I will get, and I would feel more confident on the list I have. Like I'm not gonna have that turn that's just like a all blue hand, and I just like I'll still have the opportunity to have it. Like I still have a bunch of crush cards. I still have Blues Crush Week and all that. But my deck feels like it functions a lot better. So it's not going to be as bad about a lot of drawing, but it's definitely something where I'm like, I think Slippy's favored because 1, it's an aggro deck, and Valda actually is very bad against aggro decks. 2, it has control. Like it's a slower aggro deck, so like Valda's a slow aggro deck, and that's kind of how I think of her. Like she's an aggro control deck, same as Slippy, but Slippy just has better aggro and better control. So it's like, and all his cards block 3, which not all of Valda's cards block 3. So it's.
I mean, it's everything but
like
the instance.
40-60 if I had to take a guess.
Everything but the instance and the new 2 block that you're running, blocks 3. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. But like,
you think you put it at 40-60 in favor of Slippy?
In favor of Slippy. That's kind of where I would sit on that. Yeah. I'm sure if I got more practice, it might be something that's a skill matchup. Like I could definitely see it being a 50-50, but like if I had to take a guess, it's a 40-60.
That was round 3. So then round 4, I played against Kevin on Ira. And now Kevin's been a huge Ira enjoyer for a while now. And I had no idea which version of Ira he's going to be on because I feel like he's played every version of the Sun of it. And so I kind of like hedged when I boarded into him. I think I ran like 1 or 2 Teklo Pounders and boarded up like to 65 or something like that. And then, we present decks and he says he's on 60, which is like that doesn't really say anything yet. He gets to go first. We flip over our equipment, and he's got flick knives. I'm like, interesting. He also has snapdragons, and I'm like, interesting. And I think he also had blood splattered vest instead of tunic. So I was like, this is not what I think it is. And sure enough, it was just fully aggressive, like dagger Ira. I think it's like basically like the LL Ira list, but instead of running Zephyr Needles, it's running like Kadachis. And turn 0, I have one item in hand. Thankfully, just one item in hand. And he goes dagger for 1 into. Oh, he goes Nimblism, dagger for 1 into Bittering Thorns for 8. Go again with the on hit.
That's gross.
So I block 9 on it. He flicks his dagger, turn 0, flicks his dagger, and then goes cut through, which is the 0 for 3 that gets +1 go again if you've hit with a dagger that turn. And he has massive momentum. So now massive momentum has the trigger on it. And I'm looking at this red backup protocol in my hand, and I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, am I really gonna block with equipment on turn 0 for like the first time I think ever? I don't think I've ever blocked the equipment turn 0 with Dio until now. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to do it. Like, I'm getting value out of my stuff, right? So then I ship my helmet, my Crown of Providence, and my chest piece in front of it. And I think into a 3 block, and then he throws dagger after, and I get to block with a 3 block on the dagger. So like, I thought it made sense because I don't want to start with the backup protocol in my hand. You don't really want to start with that when you have almost 0 cards in the graveyard, and you're not going to be flooded with resources. So I think I'm happy with that play, but it's a really weird spot where he forced me to block with my equipment turn 0.
Yeah, that's
going
crazy.
Dagger, Bittering Thorns for 9, kill again on hit, into flick, into cut through. And then he had there's a really cool turn he had later on that was like a 6-card play because I just conceded the maximum momentum to him. I was like, you're just gonna get the draw. I can't stop it here. And he went dagger, even bigger than that, Nimby, grab Nimblism with go again from the Quicken token.
Oh my goodness.
And then just like, I think it was like a 25-30 damage turn or something crazy like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I somehow managed to barely win that game. I think mostly due to like having some pretty well-timed blocks, really making him fight for the master sometimes, and making him flick the knives every once in a while, which then made him pay 1 to bring him back with there's that assassin ninja card that like you pay 1 as 3 go again, you pay 1 to bring it back, whatever that card is. He played those and paid it back.
Pick up the point,
yes. So then like making him flick made him spend resources to bring back the daggers, and I think I lived with like 3 health at the end, something like that. It was pretty close. But yeah, it ended up coming down to like throwing max speed a couple times and like really force him to start blocking. But very close game. It was really cool to play against that version of Ira. I still think Ira is really sick. I want to play that deck. I've been starting to slowly put it together myself.
She looks really cool.
Yeah, very flexible deck.
I see flake knives on Ira and I start sweating. Because like
right.
I have no idea how to play into that. Like, this is definitely an aggro build. What do I do?
Because like usually it's Ira, you're like, oh, the massive momentum trigger is not going to matter that often. Most of the time they're going to draw blue or like an extra D react or something. Like, it's not a big deal. But when they're aggro Ira, that's always damage, or almost always damage, I should say. Yeah, really interesting deck. But anyway, that was my round 4. Took it down.
So my round 4, I sit down against David on Fi.
Oh, right. Fi.
He absolutely slaughtered me. It wasn't even close. Like, it was so bad. Because, like, I threw a Spinal Dominated, just blocked with his equipment, threw 16 back. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty bad. Okay, here's my specialization coming in for 10 Dominate, and he says hand. I'll take 10.
Yep.
Discards his hand, draws his
That's
hand,
what I do.
throws like 20 back, and I'm like, oh no. I'm down like 20 life. Like, Oh, I think it ended, and he was probably in like he was definitely in double digits. He might have still been above 20. It was really bad. Like
Yeah, I
anything
remember.
I threw, he just like didn't care. It was like, but
Yeah, I remember talking to you after you said you didn't find any spinal, or no, you found one spinal crush, but he had a fridge to
yeah,
block it, and then you didn't find any crush the weeks, right?
yeah. I didn't see any of my crush weeks, and I also didn't like see my seismic eruptions. But like, I don't know how much it would have mattered. Like, it's like, man, yeah, it feels bad to like not get some of my powerful cards, but like maybe the crush of the week could have been something. But like when, oh, I'll just plug with my equipment and swing 16 back. Like,
Yeah.
oh, oh, like, and
Yep.
I can't just block 12, take 4, and hope you don't do that again. You're fine. You're gonna do it again. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh man, that I oddly enough, that's probably the most doomed I've ever felt playing against like Fi or an aggro matchup as a Guardian player. But like I said that like I am scared to sit down in front of a Fi. Like I'm on like Valda, like sitting down on Valda, sit down. Oh, who are you on Fi? And I'm like, it's over. Like normally it's Wizard, but no, it's Fi with Valda. Like,
Apparently, yeah.
oh,
Like,
it's wild. So that didn't go very well.
yeah, it doesn't feel great to lose with 20 health left.
It was like
it's a few and far between thing that happens, but when it does, it's not great.
and I mean, I took turns where I'm like full block. I'm like, I need some sort of gas to swing back, full block, full block, full back. Oh, here's a little bit of gas, swing it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take 10. Throw 16 back. And I'm like, I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
There was one turn though where I did played tectonic instability and sank one of his power cards. He's like, you have no idea how much damage you just blocked. And I was like, spreading flames. And I'm like, did I just bottom a spreading flames? And he's like, yeah, you bottom a spreading flames. He's like, this was going to be like a 30 damage turn or something like that. And I'm like, jeez, well, that's good that I put it on the bottom. And maybe 30 is like an exaggeration, but like,
I can believe it. He's massive pouncing Link's Fi. Like,
yeah,
they can get pretty scary.
That's like, so I was like, well, that's a good thing it's on the bottom of the deck. And he wasn't happy, but he still smoked me.
Oh man, I feel so bad for him, you know.
I know, yeah. Like I bought him his power card.
Man, he
only
happy.
threw. I think it was still like a 20 damage turn. Like,
yep, just a nice little 5-card 20.
Yeah, like it might have been more because I think that was at one point where I was like starting to fall behind and I had to eat a little bit of damage. And he hit like 1 damage on all of his attacks, if not a little bit more. And then he salted me for like 8. And I'm like, well, I need to throw this spinal because it was my spinal turn, I remember. Yeah. So I threw my spinal, and that's when he blocked with his equipment. I'm like, I am losing this game. Like, I'm behind like 20 life, and he has a full hand to throw at me.
Yeah, it's always funny when that happens, when like you know you've lost, but you haven't lost yet, but you just know you've lost.
Yeah.
What a great feeling. We'll get to that later. Anyway. So round 5, I played against Arive, and she was on Fang, which is an interesting matchup. Luke actually came up to me at one point, and we were like playful arguing, but we were arguing about like what the Fang is supposed to do into Dio, like if they're supposed to just full fatigue you or what. And he claims that there's a Fang player that beats him every time, and now I feel like I'm up to the challenge. I feel like Fang can't fatigue me, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But anyway, the reason this conversation came up is because we both got deck checked this round, and you know it's kind of funny because no matter how confident you are in your deck lists, you're always afraid of a deck check. You're like, did I forget something? Like, did I accidentally forget? Usually it's like 1 card off if you forget something. It's like, oh, I forgot to change out this tech piece for this tech piece, or I forgot to change out, I had 2 copies instead of 3 copies of this, right? Like usually those are the mistakes that end up happening that I will like pretty much always catch before the tournament starts, mostly because I'm so meticulous about lining up my deck list and just putting them all, like I'll just sort the entire thing, double check, triple check with the deck list, and then have to really shuffle whenever the tournament starts. However, we were kind of running a little bit behind for this tournament on the way up there. We were basically at like walking distance to the store, and it was 25 minutes until the event started, and I was like, I kind of want to get some breakfast before, or you get some food. I'm kind of hungry. I kind of forgot that the food truck was there, honestly, and I want to make sure that I had something to eat just in case I didn't have time between to grab stuff. So then we went through the drive-thru, and it took forever. So we ended up only getting there with like 10 minutes to spare or something, and we're both putting our deck list together last minute. We were like editing the Fabry list and like uploading it with like a minute to spare each or something like that. So anyway, long story short, we get deck checked, and you might know where I'm going with this by going into detail about the list. Turns out I did have something wrong with my list. I don't know how this happened actually, but I guess the Fabry list that I had blue zipper hits instead of blue throttles. So it was like just the blue base that I messed up. On my paper list, I had blue throttles, which is much better versus fatigue and what I've always been wanting to run. I don't know why. I think it's like the list that I took from Singapore that I originally modified to make my list had blue zipper hits instead. And so I didn't make that change, and I got an IP2 penalty for this game. And I lost the die roll, so I was going second. Now, for anyone else who hasn't gotten an IP penalty or hasn't really experienced it fully, I didn't know this. It's not... An IP2 doesn't mean that you draw one less card for like 2 draws. It's 2 of your end turns. And I'm quoting the judge on this. I haven't actually looked it up, so maybe it's possible the judge was wrong about it. But it's 2 of your end phases. So if you're going second, you have 3 cards to block with. You refill at the end of your opponent's first turn. You still have 2 more end phases with an IP2 penalty. It doesn't count. So you basically have 3 hands of 3 cards instead of 2 hands of 3 cards, if that makes sense. So I had to go second and had an IP2 penalty. Thankfully, Ari's first turn was just it was like they pumped up for 1 over my block. They swung a dagger, I blocked 3, they pumped up for 1, they made a resource and passed. And so I was like, okay, I took 1 damage, they made a vigor. That's not the end of the world. And then my follow-up turns were actually like kind of fine, surprisingly. Like I had like these 3-card hands like kind of played just okay. And of course, Fang takes a while to get online, and so I was able to kind of like block and wait and just like play an item and block and wait. And so by the time I got back to my 4-card hand, the IP penalty was over. I was just rolling. I was throwing my max Vs. I was hitting my boom grenades and everything. Like the armor fridge wasn't really actually doing much for them because of the way that I was structuring my on hits and like the way that I was attacking, the way that they can block and everything. And by the time that she got online, it was just already over. Like I got there. Like I was just pummeling with this deck, and so I actually took that one down despite an IP2 penalty, which was pretty cool. Apparently, I haven't played the matchup much, but apparently they're supposed to like full fatigue me, and that's not what happened. But I still don't think that would have worked against me. I can just set up.
I mean, when I'm on a Guardian with a bunch of 4 blocks and like actual disruption, and I like struggle to fatigue you, it makes it really hard for me to believe that Fang that has like some instance in a bunch of 2 blocks can fatigue you. Like
that was my thought. I was like, they have so many 2 blocks, they can cut most of the instance. I guess like that's the sideboard. Ari showed the sideboard after, and she could have cut I think all but 1 instant, all but 1 pledge fealty. But still, like I don't know if I believe that. Like they have it, sure. There's a fridge, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of non-online Fang. I'm just not afraid. I'll just do a full setup turn, and you can throw your 2D react hand into me. I don't care. I will play a boom grenade.
Throw like 10 damage at -IO. She barely blinks, and then she goes and throws 24 back. Like
I will do on turn off turn and out on turn off turn you. Like I do not care. So I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe that won't actually work as well as I think it does. But I don't think that's. I don't know if that'd work against me. But anyway, that was really interesting. I got the IP2 penalty. Still was able to take that matchup down. Kind of goes to show how favorite it is for Dio without an IP2 penalty. But yeah. So, how about your round 5?
So, round 5, I end up finally playing into a Gravy, which my deck is built to beat 1. 2, it was like a newer player, so and like beforehand they're like, oh, how is this matchup? And like I think the more I play, like I was saying, the more favorable it is for Valda. But at the time, I'm like, oh, this is probably a 50-50. If you can get like a chum out or any kind of like, or a Humperdinck before I can like really get rid of it, it's really bad for me. But if I can destroy your compass before you get those out, that's when I'm starting to get pretty good. And like, I have some hate cards just for your allies and whatever. And like, not only am I like, okay, like I'm starting to figure out the gravy matchup, I feel a little like I'm probably a little favorite at that point. 2, they're a little bit of a newer player. 3, I just do gas the entire game. Like it just never stops. And I felt and it was like I can't remember who went first or second in that matchup, but I remember it was like turn 0 or turn 1, set up with 6 seismic surge, block with my crater fist, and have a batter to a pulp in hand.
Jeez.
So it was turn, like, after their first turn, I destroy their compass. Like, immediately. Like, okay. Then I had, like, a Spinal with Terra Thunder Dominate on hit. And then I had, like, the specialization with a Pummel on the back end. So, like, they discard their hand, draw up, and then lose one more as well. Then I had another batter to a pulp with another Terra Thunder on hit. Like, it was just, it didn't stop. My deck's just like, here's the gas. You're good to go. Like,
yeah.
You pass go and get $200 and all this extra stuff. It was just, it was going. So I was just like, this deck is like normal, and like especially all day where I was like, there's a lot of hands where I was all hands. Like, oh, this is all right. I don't think I drew a single all blue hand. Like every hand was like exactly what I wanted to see in every moment.
Just absolutely crushed him. That poor gravy player.
Yeah, no, it was it was fun to play against, and like I gave him at one point, he played a Humperdinck, and I not only did I like turn 0 set up for the batter to a pulp for 12, but I arsenaled a Midas touch. So like there was one turn where he spent his entire turn to build his Humperdinck, or like he did some stuff and then built a Humperdinck, and then like passed to me, Midas touch. Whatever crazy thing I did, and then it was like the turn after, like he fished, and this is how like some of the crazy stuff happened, because he's like, okay, well I gotta fish to get some gas, so he fished through all the gold that I just gave him, and that's when I like looked at my hand. I'm like, well, this Terra Thunder's coming in with this attack for free. Like this was an okay hand. Now it's amazing. Like, oh, it was just straight gas the entire time, and I'm like, man, like this wasn't the matchup I needed the gas. Like I could have used it in Slippy, I could have used it against Lucilio, like really any of my other matchups, maybe not 5.
I know that is
lost that one, but like I'm like, it felt bad to be like in a favored matchup against a new player and just draw straight gas. I was just like, ooh, but they took it really well. They were awesome, really awesome to like play against them. A lot of fun, and they were still really cool. But it was just like, oh man, now I draw the gas.
Yeah. Yeah. What's funny is that this tournament, actually we forgot to mention the breakdown of it. There were 50 players at this 1K tournament, and there were 7 Gravy Bones, 4 Verdants, and then a large mix of a ton of other heroes. So 7 Gravy Bones.
There was a lot of 1-ofs too.
There's a lot of 1-ofs, yeah. 7 Gravy Bones. You played your first one in round 5. I never played one. I never played a single Gravy Bones. Wild. It just didn't happen. Yeah. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I just was not facing the Gravy Bones, which I mean I'm not gonna complain about, but I wouldn't have minded it either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my round 6 was not against Gravy Bones. It was against Tessa on Verdance. So another Verdance game, and this one was actually on stream. So for those of you listening and watching, you can go check out Luke's channel, Anarchy Please. And this game that I'm talking about is, I think it's about like halfway through, if I remember correctly, maybe a little more than halfway through. So yeah, I played against Tessa on Verdance, and I was still like iffy about the Hanabi Blaster, so I kind of used this game as a bit of like a barometer for how I felt about it. So I ran Hanabi Blaster, but this time I was also like, you know what? Verdance doesn't have any on hits. Why am I running Adaptive Plating? I'm going to run this cool tech piece, Braces of Belief that I have in the list and try that out instead. So I ended up flipping those two over, and she's like, "Oh no." I think I went first. I won the die roll, chose to go first. My first turn was like playing a Techlicore or something. And Verdance, I don't know how it is that every time I go first against Verdance, actually, it doesn't matter if I go first or not. Every time I play against Verdance, their first turn, they're discarding at least one Fruits of the Forest and gaining 2 health. I was like, all right, well, it is what it is. Oh, sorry, this is actually what I did. My bad. I'm actually forgetting that. I'm remembering the first Verdance game I had. This game instead, I had a really interesting spot where my hand was Techlicore. No, sorry, my hand was not Techlicore. My hand was is it? Shoot, what was my hand? It was like Fast and Furious, Yellow Zipper Hit, Red Backup Protocol. That's what it was. Sorry, it was Yellow 0 to 60, not Yellow Zipper Hit. And I looked at the top of my deck, and it was Fast and Furious. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm only going to do this play because I have Hanabi Blaster. So what I do is I play and crank Red Boom Grenade. I Fast and Furious boosted. Boost Fast and Furious, put a counter back on Red Boom Grenade. Or, sorry, not Red Boom Grenade. Red Backup Protocol. And then I play the second Fast and Furious. And then I activate Foundry Heart. I buy back Fast and Furious. Play the third Fast and Furious. And then I finally find out I'm at the top of the deck, and it's Techlicore, and I get to play Techlicore. And then at this point I was like, okay, I leaked I leaked a little bit of damage here because I went Fast and Furious, they de-reacted. I went Fast and Furious, they blocked 3, took 1. Went Fast and Furious, they blocked 3, took 1. I was like, okay, cool. I got my Hanabi Blaster counter. And I'm at the top of the deck. I'm not arsenaling, but I leaked 2 damage. We're in a good spot. They play Sigil. I was like, all right. Damn. I didn't leak after all. And then the rest of the game went like kind of whatever. They played 2 Warmongers against me. The first one actually was a little bit annoying. I had to Arsenal a Techlicore that I would have otherwise played. Mm-hmm. And then like I had to do like a weird, really awkward turn later on to play it instead of shooting Hanabi Blaster or doing anything else. And then later on they played Warmongers, and it was like for the final turn of the game basically. I look at my hand, it's Max V, a blue, and 2 boost cards. Look at my arsenal, it's a 3rd boost card. Ugh. I say war. I say war so quickly. Boost, Max V. Clean it up. Oh, and then I Hanabi Blaster at the end for lethal.
That's always like my biggest fear with like when I play Warmongers. Not that I play it often, but when I play it, I'm like, Warmongers are like war. Like not even a thought. Like
just snap war.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. This card was worth nothing.
Yeah, it was so funny too because it was like the first one, it made sense. Like it actually like kind of messed me up a little bit. I think I might have had a Cerebellum on the board too that I couldn't draw off of because of that. And so it was like kind of rough. And then that also led me to, at the end of the game, I had 5 counters on Hanabi Blaster and I hadn't fired it a single time. And part of that was because of Warmongers, because like I would have fired Hanabi Blaster, but instead I had to like, or no, what was it? I think I didn't boost. No, that's right. I didn't boost because I had Spark of Genius on top. That's what it was. But anyway, long story short, I had Hanabi Blaster was kind of odd, and Braces of Belief, I didn't even crack that either. I think I ended the game at 20 health, and and won that one. So it wasn't particularly close. Wasn't even close to getting fatigued. Yeah, it was a bit of a blowout, for the Verdance player. So finished off Swiss pretty strong at 6-0, the only undefeated player, which is pretty cool for the 1K.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then how'd yours round 6 go?
So in my round 6, I played against a Verdance as well. I played against Sarah non-Verdance, and it was a really interesting matchup. There were like a lot of really interesting plays, but I don't remember how it ended. Well, like I know I got comboed, but I don't remember like the life total, because I remember it was something where I was throwing the disruption, like I threw the specialization when she had like all the instants at one point, and I like got rid of all, or like she had to play them and still discarded 2 cards, and there was a lot of like stuff like this like really relevant disruption, and then we hit like a really weird mid game where we both just our decks just stopped working. Where I drew like 3 all blue hands in a row, and she drew like just like average Verdant's hands, like nothing crazy. Like okay, like pile under, and I had like no arsenal. I'm like okay, like block 6, throw hammer for 4. So it's like a really middling game to a really interesting end game, where like obviously Verdance is sitting on the rampant growth life.
Yep.
And I drew my tectonic instability, and on my turn played it, and then she like looks at her hand and thinks for like a minute, just like because like I'm putting a combo piece on the bottom of the deck, and we're both at like 10 life at this point. She's not seeing that card again.
Right.
So she like thinks for a while, does some stuff, and like it's like I was gonna kill you this turn. I'm like, yeah, and that's why I put it on the bottom. I knew it was coming. Like, but it was a really fun and interactive game, and it was really funny. Like both our decks just kind of like
yep,
stalled for like the mid game, but yeah, it was like very back and forth. And even though I got comboed out, it felt really close, at least comparatively to the rest of the Guardians. Like Jarl, you sit down and set like front of Verdance, and you're like, well, let's see if I can get her below 20 before I die. Like,
let's go for a new high score.
Yeah, a new high score. Like, let's see if I can hit 14 life this time. Well, it's like with like Valda, it's like I'm presenting some disruption, and like the like discard your hand and draw a hand is actually super relevant. And like you can draw rampant growth, and you do not want to lose rampant growth.
Right. Or sometimes like the items,
and it's like
or anything.
Yeah, and it's like like the health potions, and it's like you could play rampant growth, but you don't want to play it on my turn.
Right.
So it's like I was actually super interesting to play against, but she got there in the end.
Yep. That is a tough matchup for you, though.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that like Valda can actually win that.
It seems like
it's
it.
Not. Yeah, like the Wizards, Valda feels like she can win against. It's not just an auto loss, which is crazy.
I mean, that's the cool thing about just like aggro dominating your opponent is that you can kind of just kill them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's so interesting because like that's a lot of what my testing has been the last couple days. Where like I said, that Prism game earlier, like I sit down in front of or I'm playing online on Talstar against that Prism, and they get turn 0, they play an Aura on turn 0, and I'm like, I don't think I care. And I had Seismic Eruption in my turn 0, so I'm like, I'll just respond with Seismic Eruption on your end phase, and then I drew like the specialization. I'm like, okay, throw this Dominate. They like play all these instants and just take 10 damage. I'm like, okay. And then like I just kept throwing at them, and it just like never stopped. Like I'm just like, okay, here's the aggro. Oh, here's one hand that's all blue. I'll smash one of your auras that I don't like. Okay, we're going again. Like it was like Valda can just go. She can just like dominate. It's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And that's like I do like that, having that like quality in decks, because Dio is the same way. Like I can have bad matchups, like abysmal matchups, but I can just high roll the absolute shit out of you and then get there anyway. Like it's like I remember doing that against a Victor once, where I absolutely high rolled them. it was so bad. It was almost like it wasn't even a bad matchup with how rough it was for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always nice when that's a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then that was Swiss 6 rounds, and I'm looking at a top 8. I'm like, this is looking great. There's no Guardians, there's no Florians. It's just, I think it was, if I remember correctly, there was 2 Verdants, a Prism, a Gravy, a 2 Iras, and me. 2 Verdants, 2 Iras, Prism, Gravy, me, one other person that I'm blanking. But anywho, so like nothing scary for me. Like a Cilio, I know there wasn't a Cilio to like just randomly kill me. Ira's not too bad. The Verdance matchup I was feeling really good about, and I face round 1 into Prism, and I was like, okay, this is a good matchup for me. I'm feeling pretty good. My turn 0, I get to play in Crank Null time zone. I name Wartune Herald. Sorry, no, I name Wartune Herald. Yeah. And then I also play a Cerebellum processor, which is like great. That's a good start. And then their first turn, they go Herald into Herald. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of rough, but whatever. I'll come back from it. My hand was not very good though. It was all 0 to 60s, and like one was yellow, one was blue. And I think my arsenal was like a Pulsate Harpoon or something kind of like inconsequential. So I have like a middling turn, and then they respond with Herald Angeled Herald. And I couldn't block any of it very effectively. And there was just like, oh no, that's right. That turn, I think I arsenal the yellow boom grenade. I draw my hand up, and there's 2 yellow boom grenades there, and I'm like, no, what is this hand? And then it was also Heist and Blue Throttle. It was yellow boom grenade arsenal, 2 yellow boom grenades in hand, a Heist, and a Blue Throttle. And I was like, what is this hand? I think I looked at the top of my deck, and it was like a 0 to 60 or something, red 0 to 60. So I crown one of the boom grenades, and then I like play out my hand, but I think he blocks out the crack helmet for the Triumph one, so then my Heist comes in for 4. At that point, they have an Angel and 3 Spectral Shields because they swung with the Spectral Shield Maker.
Oh.
And so it was just like nothing was hitting, and then I just ended up dying. And it was just like I had like the last turn, I was digging so hard. I had Cerebellum out, and I was digging so hard for an IM off the top so I could put any pressure on them, because I got them down to 4. Despite all that, I got them down to 4. It was like I was at like 3 or something to their 4. And it was my turn, and I was like, okay, I need an item off the top so I can draw any card to put any pressure on them. Found nothing. So I literally just had to arsenal. I just drew a Cerebellum, arsenal that card, and passed. And then they were able to double Herald me again and kill me. And it was just like, I high rolled a lot earlier that tournament. So it was like I was due to low roll in a sense. But also they played really well. And I think I made a slight mistake on my blocking on one turn that I could have maybe stopped an on hit Herald at one point, and I didn't. And I could have. And so I think that might have made the difference for the game too, because there was a really weird point where they were throwing Herald of Ravages at me, which is the one that deals 1 arcane. And I was at I think it was at 10. Yeah, I was at 10. And it was an interesting spot where I was like, okay, this Herald of Ravages is coming in for 6. On hit, it deals an arcane, so that's 7. And they can pull out the Ravages, so that's 8. The Angel of Ravages or whatever, the Figment of Ravages, so that's 8. So if they have any Wraths in their arsenal's been there for a little bit. If their arsenal card is an Angelic Wrath, blue or yellow or red, any color, if I don't block this at all, I lose. If I block it with just my equipment, or just my 1-block equipment, I lose to yellow and red Wrath. And I was like, okay, if I block with my equipment plus a card from hand, I don't lose the red Wrath. So that's what I had to do. But then I ended up blocking for it was 5 on 6 or something like that. And so I gave him the on hit to get another Herald, but it was just I had to play around the Wrath, but also keep as many cards as possible to threaten them. It was some really weird blocking decisions I had to make that game. And I think I maybe could have done a little bit better, but I had a huge headache. I was kind of ready to I was just not in it anymore. But I think maybe there was a small chance I could have won that game, but man, I low rolled pretty hard. And it was so sad to lose that one. Losing the top 8 after doing so well in Swiss and having such a favorable top 8 for me. But my opponent played well. I think I made some mistakes here and there, and I still had a really good time. It was a really good tournament. Huge shout out to the Blood Rush Fellows and to Luke, who has the Anarchy Please channel, for sponsoring for hosting the event and everything. Huge shout out to Wes and Dan, who casted it. Go check out the live stream. Really, really fun live stream to watch with them behind the wheel. and
It
really
was
cool
just,
event
like, a lot of
overall.
fun to be there too.
It was
Like,
so
it was
much
crazy.
fun.
They had so much like prizing, like in between each round. They're giving just stuff out all the time.
Yep, there's
Like,
raffle every round.
yeah, and it's like I got a Bravo pin. Like, even though I didn't do well playing, I still got some. It's like, I swear, like everyone got something. There was like so many raffles. Like, it
What was
was
that?
6 rounds. There were 2 raffles each round until the last one where they raffled off like 10 things. Like, it was crazy.
I got it's Fab Metal Tokens sponsored and donated a lot of tokens. Like I got this like Intimidate Beat Chest token from a raffle, and then there was like Tucker was handing out a ton of posters at the end. So I got a Draw My poster, which is really cool. Which I actually meant to have put up by now, but I need to put that up. And then what else? There was so much cool stuff going on. The store was great. Yeah. Huge shout out to Iron Lion for hosting that event. Really, really cool of them. The food truck that they found for it was really good. It was like a Cajun food truck. Really good food, thing.
And it felt like everyone was just having such a good time. And it's like, there were like people that weren't in the tournament that like were watching and like when the cracked packs and like did some other stuff off this. Like, it was just everyone was having a good time. Everyone was. It was so much fun. It was so cool. I want to say shout out to, I think it was Tucker that won, right?
Yeah, Tucker ended up taking it down on Gravy Bones.
Yes.
Which is really funny because he's the one he's like the main organizer of the event, and he took it down. So there's a lot of joking about like, oh, he organized an event just to take all our money. But it was really, really cool for him to win the whole thing. No, we forgot to even mention there was a Zephin 3D printed and painted a really, really sick trophy for the winner.
It was so cool.
It was such a cool trophy. I don't know if I'll have a picture of that for the thumbnail or not, but really, really cool trophy for the event. It's definitely on the stream. If you check out the stream, they almost certainly put it on the stream at the end, so you can see it there. But yeah, really fun event. It was almost like being at a PQ, but not nearly as not intense is not the right word for it. Intimidating. It was like being at PQ, but it wasn't nearly as intimidating because it was like everyone was there just to like have fun. The first thing everyone was doing there was to have fun, and then like the competition was like a secondary reason to be there. So it was really, really fun event. Very happy that we both got to go. I can't wait.
It was really cool. It's like I don't know how to explain how this event like felt. Because it felt like a lot, and it like in a really good way. It felt like a lot, and there's so much going on, and there's always stuff, and all these people, and it's like, in like Iron Lion, shout out to them too, like for hosting this big thing. But it's just like, it was so cool, the whole thing, the whole shebang, and it's like the last time what I would compare it to is like the feeling of like a calling. Yeah, like going to a calling, like there's all this stuff all over the place you can do, and it's just like, but it's like a local level, and it was really cool. It was like really unique.
Yeah. So LSS, give us a calling.
we need. Where's our calling in Denver? Come on.
Yeah. Well, we had a Battle Hardened forever ago. We need another event. It's like, But anyway, really cool event.
3 years ago.
A lot of fun. Sad about the my top 8 game, but still very, very happy about the performance and everything, and just being there. So what's funny is we thought we didn't have a lot to talk about today. We're currently at an hour and 40 minutes for the podcast. So let's do a really quick prediction for KC, and then
sounds good.
We'll sign off. So what is your prediction? What do you want to? What's your guesses?
I'm gonna guess that Slippy finally gets a win. That's going to be my guess. Slippy's going to get a win. There's going to be...
Has he not?
I don't think he has, from what I've heard.
I guess not in a while, right?
There's like 3 top... Like, there's always like 3 or 4 of them in top 8, and then he just doesn't win the calling or whatever. From what I can tell. But I'm going to take a guess that Slippy gets there.
Okay.
There's going to be 1 Gravy Bone. There seems to be a lot of Gravy Bone hate, but I'm going to say 2 Slippies, 1 Gravy Bone, a Prism. I think Dash.io is really good right now, honestly. Like, playing against you, it like is brutal sometimes. Like, I'm like my deck is made to disrupt and fatigue, and like I can't do that sometimes. But I think Dash IO, I'm gonna say Dash IO. It's gonna be you too. Like obviously, you're
Hell,
going.
of course.
Yeah, you're gonna win the event, obviously. But
I see. You start with Slippy winning the event, and then now that you realize I'm here.
yeah. Well, I forgot you were going, so like like my math was off. But probably a Verdance and maybe a Syndra. I think that's 7, but somewhere around there. Give one of those heroes an extra. Give one of those heroes an extra to show up in the top 8.
All right. My prediction: 2 Gravy Bones, only 1 Slippy, 1 Verdance,
okay.
2 Dash IOs.
Okay.
What am I missing? An Acilio.
Oh,
and I need an 8th one. What's gonna be my 8th? Oh, I'm gonna say a Florian's gonna get there. I'm gonna say Florian's.
Really?
I think they're gonna make top 8 and then not win. That's my prediction.
I could.
And then the winner is either gonna be Gravy or Dash IO. That's my prediction. One of those 2.
Okay.
And it's gonna be me on Dash IO.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
Very humble.
No, I think I could do well. I don't know if I'll top 8, but I think I can do pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good. I think my listing's a little bit of tweaking, a little smidge here and there. But otherwise feeling pretty good.
I mean, with like you performing so well at the 1K, like the Colorado scene's not an easy scene. It's like it's not easy. I think you got a pretty good chance to do well at the calling.
I'm hoping. We'll see.
You've done well before. You've made it to top 8s in Battle Hards.
I'm scared of the Slippies, is what it is. I feel like so far I've had a good time in the Slippies, but I'm just afraid that I'm gonna run into them and they're just gonna destroy me. This is not even gonna be close. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's basically everything. Oh, I want to say, I am going to be at Kansas City. If you want to say hi, feel free to come up and say hi anytime. It doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of this conversation. Just like tap my shoulder and I'll say hi to you. Like I want to meet you all. I want to meet everybody out there. The community is amazing, and I want to meet every single one of you. So feel free to come up and say hi. Give us a question. I know I'm gonna steal the Arsenal Pass thing. You can give us a question in person to ask on the podcast if you don't want to comment on the YouTube channel. And yeah, wish me luck. That's all I have really. Anything else you want to leave our viewers and listeners with?
I'm gonna be in Colorado still. I'm gonna be testing Volta. Hopefully I get if I can get really confident, maybe I'll do some other Volta stuff. I've been debating, not that it's got just putting on some streams, going on, playing some Volta through a stream.
Yeah, go for it.
But
that does remind me. I was talking to some people. Oh, actually, that reminds me of 2 things. One thing was the amount of people that were like, "Wait, you're not on Gravy Bones for this tournament?" Everyone was like, I think I got that comment 4 or 5 times. People have been like, "Wait, why aren't you on Gravy Bones?" It's so much like Dromite. Why aren't you on Gravy Bones? I can't disagree. I just like Dash IO, and I didn't want to spend money on gravy cards right now.
That's totally fair.
And then the other thing was that I brought up once I was doing better, I was like, okay, if I win this thing, or even if I get in the finals, I'll make a deck tech video. And I only made the 8th. I'm not making a deck tech video. But if I do well at Kansas City, if I make top 8, a deck tech video is happening and going on this channel for Dash IO. So be on the lookout for that, hopefully.
I'm rooting for you. You.
But yeah, anything else? Oh, I think, you know what we can do? Our question for the viewers and listeners can be, what is your prediction for a specialization card for your hero? This might actually be a copy from last week, but we didn't get any response, any submissions. But now that we have another specialization card, people have probably been thinking about what they want for their own hero. So let's hear your ideas in the comments, and we'll go over those next week and some of our own predictions. But anything else you want to say before we head off?
I'm all good.
All right. With that, I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
And thank you for watching and listening.